Hi, this is Professor Laney with our first class of Child Development 212A, which is language and literacy for early childhood. I'm really excited because it's the first time we've ever had enough people to actually run the class. And so, because I do have a specialty in emergent languages, I volunteer to teach this class. So, I'm really excited about that. And tonight's recording, we're going to basically, this sign in? I know I've signed in. Tonight, we're going to go over the syllabus. We're going to go over Canvas and what's due week 1. So I'm going to try to get it wrapped up in maybe 30 minutes or so. I'm doing like a new format that's a little bit more contemporary for the Canvas and for our classes. I am a advanced certified Canvas instructor. I do hold, again, advanced certifications. I've been teaching online since 2012 in different various formats. And so I'm really excited to have an online class, although I do love being with people in person. So that's why I'm offering these weekly meetings so we can have a recording of things that we're doing, things that's on the docket for the week. And then, you know what? I will do the lecture a little bit separately. In fact, I'll do it a little bit later tonight so you guys can have that too. I want to make sure that as online students, you have every resource available to you and more. Because I am on the technology committee on campus as well. So I want to make sure that this is a great class and everybody has a great opportunity to learn about emerging language and literacy and how that works in our brain and works in little people, young people. And we'll talk about infant toddler development, and then we'll also talk about early childhood, like preschool. ECE usually goes 0 to 8, and I might cross up into the 8 years old, which we usually call pre-primary, or you might hear TK, or you might hear K kinder. So lots to go over tonight. If you guys have any questions, you're welcome to pop in on chat or say it out loud or raise your hand or whatever. So again, it doesn't matter how many participants we have. I'm just going to record it and share it, which is awesome. So let's get to Canvas. And so I'm going to share my screen. And I know this is kind of an advanced class, so nobody really starts off their college career and says, I'm going to take 212A, right? So chances are you all have been exposed to Canvas in some respect, know kind of what you're doing. If you don't, ask me. And if I don't know, I need to know. I need to make sure that I know stuff. Let me move my toolbar down here because that's a little bit more comfortable for me. And then I will put me over here. So that's a little bit more comfortable too. I hate talking to a picture of myself, but I'm going to just put it off to the side. So I'm going to talk to the camera. Okay, good. So this is the Zoom homepage, but if you're going to our regular homepage with Santiago Canyon, it looks like this. We have a brand new website this semester, and so some of the links are getting figured out. I found a typo on there this morning, so that was fun. So we go to Canvas here, and again, some people are like, I already know this, blah, blah, blah. I'm just starting from scratch, just in case somebody is coming from a different campus and they had Blackboard or something like that. And this would be your dashboard. If you see right here, this tab will tell you, these are my classes that I currently have, finishing up 123A and started 212A today. So I picked kids of different backgrounds around the same age. Again, there's a lot that we already know about language and literacy, but this class is to formalize and really dig deep and really kind of challenge some of the things that we do know. Also in the class, and again, I'll go through the syllabus with you. This class talks about different frameworks and guidelines that we have for developmentally appropriate practices or age-appropriate practices for kids and their language and literacy attainment. So again, if you were 2 years old and someone's expecting you to tie your shoes, not really developmentally appropriate, right? Oh my goodness. I have like some tea over here that is past its prime. Anyway, so we are going to learn about what's appropriate. What do we look for at kids at certain ages? And they could be a little bit ahead of the game. They could be a little bit behind the game, but we do have standard practices in our field. That's why this is the study of child development. And it really is an empirically based science. It's a social science, yes. But we do have empirically based and tested assessment tools that can tell us who's on track and maybe who needs a little bit more support. We don't say somebody's done. We don't say somebody's behind. We can say they're earlier learner. We could say more advanced learner. We could say experiencing challenges or needing more supports, right? We want to be very aware of our language. So what I did here was, in fact, I'm going to put here student view. So you can see exactly what you see here in Canvas. So this is interesting. I swear to you, I made a nice new homepage, but apparently our homepage looks not really great. So I will figure this out. Usually homepage is like a cute little page that I made. Apparently it's not working. I will fix that tonight. Let me write this down, my to-do list. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so fix homepage. But I made it cute. I even put my Bitmoji on there. I'm like in love with Bitmojis right now. So you're going to see this whole thing for prep week. This is our first module that we're going to go through. And you're just going to kind of go one by one. Now, if you notice here, it says mark done, mark done, mark done. There's a little checkbox at the bottom that you need to literally mark off or else it won't open these other guys for you. So again, I'm an advanced Canvas user. I'm going to use some of the other bells and whistles. So our get ready is pretty easy. Just going to walk us through it real quick. We talk about, and there's me. Just basically what's going on here in Canvas. Like, how do you, I do have bonus points for gems. How do you navigate Canvas? There's a little bit of a training. You guys can go through that this week. Once you're on this page, see down here, it says mark is done. Mark is done, then it's done. Okay. Again, here's more gems. This is like getting our mindset right, mindset growth mindset, and managing our time. 1.2 talks about okay, look at that. I didn't mark off. It was done. So again, this is on the honor system. So if I mark it off, I go to next. Now I know on the phone, sometimes it doesn't show up exactly the same. But this tells you about me, your professor. Let's see if I can show you a real picture of me. Wearing the same blue shirt, sort of. A little bit more about me. How I expect communication. Reach out to me. You can tell that I'm a little bit off, but in a good way. So I'm really committed to making things good for you, just not good for everybody. Like, yes, good for everybody, but like not my way or the highway. I want to know what's a possible barrier for your success, and let's work on that. Right? If I'm also have a specialty in the special ed community, I want to make sure that, look, listen, we all need help at some certain times. I want to make sure that you guys get the help whenever you need it. Reach out, just be like, you can say, I'm having a hard time concentrating. I'm having a hard time this, or is there any way I could push this back, or can we help that, or this doesn't work for me. I don't understand. Let me know. All the communication for me is going to say CDEV 212A. So you can actually search for that in your email. I kind of email a little bit more than other teachers. I don't exactly know, but again, communicate with your classmates. I know we have some buddies that came together from the last class, and which is super awesome. Course setup and flow. This kind of shows you my mind, how I set up the class and why I do certain things a certain way. Again, I've been teaching for over 10 years, and the first couple years I did not do a good job. I mean, I did, but it was like I asked all the questions about the questions that I liked, but wasn't very honest with the book and the teaching. So I'm very specific, right? So again, we do have in this class notes every week. Any content that we are exposed to, you can write down in notes. Again, it could be, I'll show you what it looks like in the module, but it could be any format that's comfortable to you. Some people type, some people mind map, some people audio type it, some people do Cornell notes, some people, whatever. Show me what you got. If it's typed, it's 2 pages. If it's handwritten, it's 4. If it's a mind map, it's 1, but I need it in colors with all the pieces of the chapter in there. We'll do mini assignments in the module, not this week. We're going to be connecting the different frameworks and a framework crosswalk. We're going to be doing some lesson plans here. Again, we don't have to be perfect, but I want to share some of the basics that we have in mind based on the preschool learning foundations. The parent-teacher conversations. Yeah, we're going to do some mock vignettes on that. I'm going to give you stories, and you're going to be able to talk to a parent as in if it was a real parent, and how would you maybe approach some tricky subjects or not. And of course, starting coursework assignments, we're going to put our framework crosswalk together. Then you're going to be able to talk a little bit more about why these different things are in place for children's language and literacy. And all of the lesson plans we're going to compile into a toolbox, and everybody gets a copy of it at the end. And the conversation tip sheet. What did you learn from having conversations with the parents? I even have a handout called The Sales of Child Development. Oh yeah, child development can be very convincing parents what's best for them and their child. Although you're not the parent, you're not a doctor, it's leading them to an inevitable answer that would be best for their child. You have some extra credit opportunities, but most people don't need them. I do roll up the final grade. So if it's 89.5, it is an A in this class. My last class, most everybody had like a 95 and up. Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. So again, this is kind of the breakdown. We have about 700 points. So that means you can miss about 70 points in this class and still get an A. Yeah. So mark it as done. And then it turns green. So again, on the phone, sometimes you have to scroll down and maybe scroll over. And then here, step 3, let's go. So these are the 3 things that are due the first week. You're going to have a discussion board. If you're in some of my other classes, you share pictures. This one, so you're going to share your, I did not hyperlink. I shall hyperlink it. And the syllabus scavenger hunt, same thing. That hyperlinked work. Let me get this guy in here. And then this academic honesty statement. Yeah, that's awesome. I will make sure that those work. I hope they're not to another class. So let me do that right now. They come out of student view. Watch this. Leave student view. It's going to say, you're not a student. Okay, so these hyperlinks should take us to, watch this. I'm going to show you the wizardry of Canvas. And we hit edit. So again, this tells you that the students have a to-do list, meaning it's just 11:59. See down here at the bottom, it says to do this. This is a README, not really an assignment. If it's an 8 p.m. in this class, it's an assignment. Now, when I say 8 p.m., I'm pretty serious about that, especially when it comes to discussion boards, no late discussion boards. But if it's something else like a journal reflection or the notes and you need to turn it in the next day, I'm totally okay with that. Just reach out. Cool. So here's our discussion board. I'm going to hyperlink that to one that's already present in the course. And again, in other classes, we had it where you share pictures of yourself. This one, you're going to talk about your favorite books. Yeah, fair. When you're a kid, maybe when you're middle childhood, maybe a teenager, and then maybe now. Or do you have a list of things that you want to read, but you haven't been able to? I'm going to remove this link. Let me do this. I'm going to remove it. Okay, sorry. Tricky. Right here, remove that link, and then I'm going to relink it to the syllabus scavenger hunt. And it's just exactly what it sounds like. You're going to go through syllabus and Canvas, and you're going to find some of the questions that I've asked. And some of you have taken my classes before, you know what that looks like. Last one is the academic honesty agreement. Let's remove the link and relink that to courses. And here we go. So in the beginning module, you only have 3 things to do this week, which is fantastic. Super easy. It should take you maybe an hour to do all these things. You have unlimited time. You have unlimited chances. Try to get those in by Sunday at 8 o'clock, especially the honesty statement, because that's how I know you're getting ready. So if you move here, I say congrats, you completed the week module. This will take you right into those actual. You can use a hyperlink or move here. So again, share your favorite books. You're going to submit a main post that answers these prompts right here. Right here, I said 3 to 5 images. So if you want to look at, this is 3 images and then this is 4 or 5, that'd be great. Yeah. Like to see pictures of books instead of hyperlinks. Please don't put links. People don't really follow links, and you want to get people to engage with your post, right? So if your favorite book was Nancy or something like that, put that in there. You know, you might have somebody who's like, oh, that was my favorite book too, or oh, I've never heard of that. So again, we're trying to get, look, Claire's already put her thing in there. Ooh, I gotta do mine. I didn't do mine yet. Oh, I gotta do mine. Ooh, I love it. So you can use all these different options here, Pixabay and Splash Pexels, also GIMP. I straight up use Canva. It's free. It's pretty rad. I love it. You can invite people to work on it with you. You can send it, blah, 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 whatever. not submit it as a detachment, download it as a JPEG or whatever, and then upload it. If you don't know how to do that, I put it right here to embed an image. Okay. So a lot of people say, I don't know how to do it. Well, you didn't read all the instructions. Please read the instructions for everything. I don't put it here for my health. Trust me. If that was for my health, it doesn't look like it would make me healthy. It would look like it would make me stressed. So I'm gonna blaze through here and we can see. That's so cute. And then syllabus canvas scavenger hunt, same thing. We're gonna hunt for some treasure. Okay. 3 points. That's kind of a lot. So again, you can take it as many times as you want. You can work with a friend. No time limit, right? I've had a couple people say, oh, it's like bounces around a lot. Yeah. It makes you look on the website. It makes you look on our syllabus. It makes you look in Canvas. That's the point. If it were easy, it wouldn't be called college. It would be called easy. Academic honesty agreement, 10 points. The first 5 are true or false, pretty easy. The last one is 5 points that you actually write your own statement, 3 to 5 sentences. Every once in a while, people plagiarize that, so don't do that, because if I see that plagiarized, I will stop you. I don't like doing that. I don't like playing hardball, but I will, because I have a teenager, and you have to be firm to be firm. Okay, so right here, this is all we have in the prep week. However, because this is a short class, this is an 8-week class, we have to do both. We have to do a prep week and we have to do chapter 1. But I made chapter 1 really, really small. And I will do the lecture separately, but I'll give you a walkthrough. Now, after doing the opening prep week, this is our book. Our book is free. It's called an open educational resource book. It's called Early Childhood Literacy, Engaging and Empowering Emergent Readers and Writers, birthday age 5. This link right here will take you all the way to Text, which is kind of the hub for all of our books right here. Now, I do have to say this. They kind of messed up the setup of the book. So you see usually front matter, it's like the title, the back matter is like references and things like that. And usually chapters, you can click this and you'll see all the chapters, but they all put them under chapter 1. You'll see what I'm saying in a sec. So once you hit that, you're going to see 1.1, 1.2, no, those are all separate chapters. So when I say chapter 1 or module 1, it's this one. Look at the second number, the connection that support emergent literacy, and I'll show you in a minute. This will be chapter 2, recognizing the power of early years. Chapter 3, examining theories that support literacy development. Chapter 4, and I'll show you what it looks like on syllabus 2. So it has a heads up. We are not doing, we'll touch on these 2. I did not make them a formal because we only have 8. We only have 8 weeks. And so I will throw in some of these tips and tricks from 1.9 or chapter 9 and chapter 10 in 1 through 8. So that is our book, super rad. Again, it's open educational resource. And every time you want to move forward, just click next. Right? So now we are in, if you go back to modules, we're in module 1. And I try to make this format the same for every class because not every class, but like this class is really tight. Again, I'm on this short list to badge my class to be approved by the state chancellor. So I'm trying to make this as good as possible. And I started everything from scratch using a new format system. So I'm really excited that, hence all the Bitmojis. They're super cute. So when you're in this page, you can hit this up here where it says collapse all, or you can use these tiny little calls called declare it. In this module or not open this module. Do that. That's what I like to do. Keep it all close. And this, look at that. I have everything getting set up at a time. Yeah. So every chapter sort of looks like this. We'll have a little bit more assignments as we add in things. I'll be scaffolding some of those projects we mentioned, like the lesson plans, the frameworks crosswalk, and the teacher conversations. Pretty excited about that. Okay. So I always start with an introduction and I always end with a summary. Makes sense? Called, right? So an intro and a summary. They're very similar. It tells you what's going on, and then it tells you hopefully what you finished. So our introduction will tell us what we're kind of exploring. We use strengths-based. We don't use negative, closed-minded, closed mindset to like be like, okay, you're dumb and you can't read. Not at all. right? And we say, little Billy or little Marisol, like you have a very you have such an active imagination. I wonder if you could pick a story with a child with an active imagination, right? So we do strength based, right? Or they tell you that their favorite animal is an like a let's say an armadillo. Let's find a book about the armadillo kind of situation. So again, emergent literacy, we're going to talk more about that. That means that we're growing. Again, people aren't born on this planet reading and writing and understanding literacy, or even we develop our speech as we go, right? Our environment has a lot to do with our speech development. And the nested model of literacy helps us look at almost in a way, they use a bird in a nest, but it's kind of like an onion. Our nested model of language grows as we grow. You do realize that children can only ask the questions that their brain is able to ask because their brain is only developed to a certain amount of level, right? So when your second grader says, where do babies come from? They're not asking about intercourse. They're asking about literally where did that baby came from. And so depending on what you want to tell them, answer the question they asked. So when it comes to literacy in language, if they're saying something wrong and they're mispronouncing it, we just correct them, right? But if you're saying it wrong and you're mispronouncing it, what are they gonna do? You know how children love to copy you. Okay. So every week we have, I added here the start here module because this first week we'll have that. You're always going to have an introduction like this page, and have a content reading and videos page. I just have content and reading right now. I'm trying to scaffold you guys into the class versus like throw it all at you. Notes are due on Friday, reflection journals due on Sunday, and the summary, you just read it. Looks like this. And then the optional, I do have a module feedback that Sunday. Okay, so again, we'll have a discussion board every week. This week, it's the intro discussion board. Instead, I didn't want to give you two. I thought that was brutal. So again, manage your time wisely. Reach out with any questions at any time. My suggestion, because it is an 8-week class, we look for double the hours because it's not double the work. It's the same amount of work. It's just half the time. So if you were spending 2 hours last semester on a 16-week class, it's going to have to be 4 at least. We suggest 9, but I know that people don't have that readily available in their world. Okay, so our reading page, if you just press next, you get to the reading page. And so this is building connections that support emergent literacy. Again, if you don't appreciate or provide language-rich opportunities, your children are not going to follow you in your footsteps. What you provide for them, they are going to want. If you are a reader, they are a reader. It's that easy. Not every kid's a great reader, but we'll get to those things in a minute. But every child wants to learn. Every child wants to be like their influential family and friends that are around them all the time. And unless you guys aren't speaking to each other, which they'll learn that too, right? So I wanted to give it to you in, this is a little bit messed up here. I apologize. I'm having somebody help me with this. I don't know why some are good and some are a little bit weird. They're the same. So if you press this little claret here, they'll come down. Same here with introduction, right? I could jazz that up a little bit more. There's a picture there. She's got her rainbow mask. She have 2 dads or 2 moms. That's awesome, right? Talking about emergent literacy more, and then literacy areas, right? And I like these little vignettes in there. I think I want to separate them out and make them a little bit more important looking. Language development. Ooh, attunement is a great. We talked about attachment in other classes. Attunement's just as important. It means you guys are literally on the same page, the same wavelength. Reading and writing here talks a little bit more about those areas. And the nested literacy. Here's that bird analogy that they gave you, which is cool. The supportive context is the tree. And then every branch is like a family, right? Or a home. And then the community strengthens that family and home. And that could be living in a nice, beautiful community, or living in maybe a little bit more impoverished community, but everybody knows each other and everybody supports each other. Again, community doesn't mean affluent. It just means the people around you. The school is part of the community. If you took 110, we talked about these layers or these spheres of influences. Now, reading, writing, and language development is the nest, even like a catcher's mitt, if you want to use a different analogy. And so it's a nested model of literacy. It's very cool. The textbook organization, it does say here that they have it organized a certain way. I think they should have put that up top, right? But that's just me. They didn't ask me. When I write a book, I'll make it that way. Takeaways, it's telling you the highlights here, the additional resources. Please look in there because there's some great resources. And I'm going to add a few too, and references that the uses, and then image credits as well. So it's not a whole lot for reading, but there is a lot to take your notes on. I will add a few more things as we go, but I wanted to make the first week as balanced as possible. I didn't say easy. Every week you will have notes. These are due Friday. I put a how-to do notes. I talk about all these different options here. Again, the only way you could lose points on notes is if you don't do it, or if you half-ass it. Please don't do that. Okay. You can upload a file. I think I did put a rubric in here. So let me see. There we go. Let me find my rubric. I think I updated it. If it takes me too long, I'm gonna, yeah, it's gonna take me a minute. I'm gonna find the 112. No, the 123 that I had. See, it's gonna take me it literally will make me go through every class. Here we go. See, 19, fall 19, 19. So I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll write a new one if I need to. You'll see I'm going to cancel this right now. You'll see a rubric that says it has to be accurate. It has to do the length that I've mentioned. It has to have professional like spelling and grammar. No hashtags, no colloquialisms, no anything that doesn't make it collegiate. You're in college, be collegiate. Again, this isn't USC Film School, but this is a community college where you're practicing to maybe transfer or be professional in your field. Okay. The reflection journal, that's totally me. It's like, how do I make it the fattest? And how do I give it wrinkles? I should put glasses on, but these are blue light glasses. And I do, my hair does get darker in the winter, but so the reflection journal is called a formative connection, a formative assessment as well. An assessment is really just checking in to see how you're learning. This puts it into your words, not my words. There are no true, false, multiple choice, nothing in this class except for that one at the very beginning. The syllabus scavenger hunt. There are no quizzes or exams in this class. You have products. I'm excited. So there's 3 parts to this reflection. Part 1 is reflect on what you have learned over the course of the chapter. Excuse me, 1 paragraph is 5 to 10 sentences. You can literally say, I learned in this chapter that X, Y, and Z. Great. Tell me what you learned. Not what I learned, what you learned. Number 2, find an additional resource. This is that piece where, what else is out there? We're talking about nested learning. Is there other, you're like, I don't like birds. I want to see another analogy for emergent language skills or emergent language and literacy. Yeah, find something else. Okay, but find it as a video or an article and cite the source. Give me the link. I want to see it. It also opens my world because I don't have a lot of time to see everything that's out there. And then, so what will you do with this information? Please, for the love of God, don't say, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Most of you in these advanced classes are saying, I'm taking this to school tomorrow, or I am, whatever, starting my home care, child care. I'll use that there. Great. Show me what it's going to look like. If you're not sure, this is the place where you stretch your brain a little bit. And then I gave you some tips here. Again, when I say another resource, there's a song, there's lyrics, a poem, but I want to make sure that it's not like a People magazine or like a gossip magazine or things like that. But again, I have a rubric for this. I don't know where it is, but I will get it in there for you. That's me. Okay, good. All right, so those are due every Friday. If you need extra time, just let me know. I have a very liberal policy. I call them target dates. The only thing I do not accept late is a discussion board. When we come to it next week, I'll even tell you I'm getting more strict on there too. Ooh, because some people are just kind of phoning it in, and then it's like, and then I go to grade it, and then it's taking me so long to grade, it's putting everything back, but then people didn't put a lot of energy into it, and I'm like, so why am I putting a lot of, so I'm going to give it as much energy as it's given, right? So here's this module 1, chapter 1, summary and wrap up. So you only really had to do notes in a reflection journal on this one this week. So again, this tells you everything that you did, and these are the things we covered. If you can have a 5-minute conversation with a peer, family, friend, co-worker on the following concepts, then you have successfully learned the information in this module. Oh, how would I talk about strength-based approach with a friend? How would I talk about emergent literacy? What does that mean? How would I talk about the nested model of literacy? Hint, hint, hint. I'm going to put these questions into the vignettes or the stories where you have to talk to a parent who's having problems understanding why their child isn't perfect and a genius. Children can be perfect and geniuses, I guess, but not mine, right? We say ideal, a strong learner, right? And genius, we don't really need to talk about IQs. That's a random score that humans invented for what reason? I don't know. Again, you can have a high IQ and not know what to do with it, or you can have a low IQ and be super savvy, right? So let's go back to modules. This is it. You did your intro module, you did your chapter 1 module. Super duper important. And you know what? I will do a lecture that's a little bit more intense. That makes it a little bit more detail oriented. I know we kind of did a walkthrough on this one. So you'll see the rest of these things. I did open student supports. So if you have a question of like, where's the pantry, it's in there. Also this Child Development Training Consortium. This is if you need free money. This won't open until the 25th, but if you are already working with kids, in fact, you know what, let me do it right now. If you're already working with children in a licensed facility, you can have a supervisor sign off on your hours. You can get up to $45 a unit returned. Just hand it back to you. It takes a minute to get it done, but some students will walk away with like $200-$300. It's based on your units. So if you're taking only 3 units, it's 3 times 45. But who couldn't use $150 at the end of the semester? I give you it. If you don't want it, I'll tell you. There's a link to the application. And if you already have your early childhood permit, or if you want to apply for it, it's all right here as well. Yeah, so we do have a coordinator for that on campus, and we want to make sure that you are connecting with her. And she's fantastic. She used to have a daycare in her home, a childcare in her home for about 17 years, and actually had my friends' kids in there. So it was really, really cool that we're now coworkers. Supportive information. This is just a lot of other stuff that I have in there. I don't know if I have it ready to go. Let's see. Is it ready for you? Yeah, I'll just take the lock off right now. I don't want to overwhelm you, but hey, if there's something in there that you could use, this is a lot in here. I've been collecting stuff. So again, mindset we talked about, external tech. I use Grammarly.com every day. I use speech notes. It's fantastic. Spelling and grammar. Again, these different things here. How to do outlines. I'm supporting you. I gave you some other outlines, some options here. Study guides I don't have. Not in this class yet. So let's remove this one. And then trauma-informed practices. It talks about ACEs, and we'll talk a little bit about trauma and how that does affect language. You'll get a guest speaker in on that. Self-care, there's a bunch of different things. I use the Greater Good and embed that into my calendar, and it gives you little prompts to think about every day. Maybe I'll add in the UCLA mindfulness app. That's the one I use that one every day. For credit, I'll talk to you guys about that later. So I'm going to remove this one. And future teacher resources, just a few other things I got going on in here. So cool stuff. So again, over the years, I've collected a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to make sure that you guys have it. Last thing we're going to do in about 10 minutes, we're going to cover the syllabus. We've talked a lot about this. When you hit the syllabus tab, this is everything here. Everything that's here is also in this downloadable file. Okay. I will give you a preview of this and show you what the setup looks like. And I believe in having the same information in multiple places. Again, if there's something that it's not lining up correctly, like if I say Monday evenings, but I write it here Monday, but I really meant Tuesday or whatnot, like you let me know and I'll fix it. See, there's a space I need to add right there. But this is a PDF, so I'll go back and do that. If there's any changes to this, I will update it in the other places and then let you guys know. So our steering learning outcomes, these are how I base my assignments right here. Explain the roles. California Preschool Learning Foundations. It's the framework and how we measure and guide students. Guide and assess students. So we call the PLF, or the Preschool Learning Foundations. And then there's the DRDP, which is the desired results for developmental profile. So the DRDP measures the foundations, and then the Common Core is already there, and then content standards for California public schools. So we're going to line these things up and compare and contrast them over the course of the semester. We have 8 weeks, and that's kind of a 4-week project, and then it turns into a final. Yeah, it's really cool. Plan environments and experiences based on observation of children to support children's English language development. Because it's an 8-week class, I'll probably get you I'll probably give you videos instead of have you go out if you would like to go out and observe an actual child, that'd be great too. But I give people options because of COVID now. And then the third one, describe how teachers can collaborate with parents and other caregivers to support children's English language development. So again, those are those vignettes, those videos that I'm going to have you guys do. It's fantastic. Okay. So again, here's our book. We already went over that, what to expect. Again, these are all the different activities we're doing. And if you're just turning every one of our activities here, like these last three, compile to final end of term assignments. So you're not doing them in the last week, you're doing them over the course of the semester. I'm really trying to do that because I think springing it on people in the last 2 weeks is just terrible. I mean, I hated that and I don't like to do it, but sometimes I have to do it. And now I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. We do have a feedback survey optional on every single module. If you say, I hate it, this is weird, this is not right, or this is great, really enjoyed that, or I remembered that story from when I was a kid, blah, 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 please let me know. It's like 0 to like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. If you give me 5 sentences, usually around 5 points. These are all the different things broken down here. Again, we have prep week items, we have notes, discussion boards, we have the mapping project, lesson plans, we have the student conversations, or maybe I should call it parent conversations, reflection journals, and summative project, like our end of term projects. So super excited about that. These are our only 2 semester holidays. Veterans Day, it is a Friday, I believe, which is kind of nice. And then Thanksgiving break, we only get 3 days, which is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, if you have a Saturday class. And then, there's no like spring break in the fall. There's a whole week in the spring. Now, the class schedule looks like this, pretty straightforward. I have all these different things going here. So, this is wrong. All right, let me fix that and resend out a new one. Look at that. I like copied this one, but I wasn't specific about it. Just know that here's our modules this week, next week. These are the dates. The modules open at 8 a.m. on Mondays, go to 11:59 on Sunday nights. Chapter notes, due by Fridays, and then on Sunday, it's usually the discussion board. This week, this is accurate right here. The academic honesty agreement, scavenger hunt, and reflection journal. And the notes here. Yeah, so that's it for the week. And then the rest of them's going to look like discussion board, notes here, journal here, but then we're also going to have a few other little things that have to do with framework, have to do with the parent vignettes, and have to do with lesson plans. I'm stepping you into those things instead of throwing them at you. So it's a really straightforward class. I know there's a few things I need to fix, but that is your syllabus. Let me fix it, and I will send it out today in an announcement, or maybe tomorrow morning. This has been quite a day. Send it out in an announcement, update it here. The same thing is already laid out here as well. Everything that was in there is on here too, right? So this is what I was doing all weekend, right? So I don't really care about points and grades. I want to know how you're learning. I think homework is terrible. I think studying is crap, but I think learning is amazing. Okay. So student learning outcomes, these are the different things that we learn in order to get those outcomes here. This is how we know that if you take the exact same class at like Siskiyou's way up in NorCal, you're getting the same class. Our content is aligned across the state. Our book we talked about. Yes. Tech and tech support. This tells you can get tech support at this number. You can ask me, but I am not your technician, but I will point you in the right direction. If you're on campus, we do have a student help desk in admissions and records. If you're not, they can be texted, they can be chatted. It's fantastic. Drop procedures, you need to be in class day 1. We need to make sure that we know who's here. I'll reach out to anybody who's forgotten, and I usually give them a day or 2. I don't record attendance. You're an adult. Come if you will, come if you don't. But I can tell you right now, Canvas will record every minute you spend in there. And I can tell you, to set up this class, it logged all my hours. I was doing some research outside this hours, but it logged me over 8 hours just doing setup. And probably double that with interviewing other people, collecting other content, getting all the materials together to align them, and then make different like activities outside, like in Word and whatnot. Time commitment, this is kind of mentioned this earlier. We suggest for a normal class at 16 weeks in class hours. That's how you know it's 3 units right there. Study time, we say double that. Most people don't, but we know that you can or you can't based on your lifestyle, or if you need that much time. And so total weekly hours, 3 in, 6 out for this class, weeks, technically the work that I've given you should equate 6 hours. Study time should be 12, total 18. Again, people are going to roll their eyes and be like, I can't do that, and drop the class. Don't drop the class. You may just be more efficient. You don't need all that time. I do have a lot of work in this class, and it's pretty exciting. Good stuff. Stay in contact with me. Now that the class has started, use the inbox over here. Fantastic way to get a hold of me. By the way, when you email me here in Canvas, it will record when you did it and when I got back to you. Now, sometimes people will be like, but you never got back to me. I'm like, I can tell you exactly when you did it and when I got back to you. Or sometimes things slip through the cracks and I forgot. So again, you know that I'll be contacting you. I do a lot of announcements. Let's see, netiquette means be nice online. And there's a little clip here, please. Anytime you see this green square box right here, I might say today, to do, or success. So I want you to watch this if you see like a green bar, okay? Communicating with your classmates, make friends. It helps. It really does. Yeah. Plus, you never know if that person's hiring or you're hiring. Trust me. It becomes a very small. And then back here, right here is our academic integrity policy. That's why we do have an academic integrity quiz at the beginning. And then let's see, assignments and activities. We already talked about all these. These are the same on the paper syllabus. Course points, same thing, about 700. And late policy. This is what a lot of people don't realize. No discussion boards are accepted late after week 1. I'm a little bit flexible week 1. But if you get my permission, you can turn in other things a little bit late. So never late on discussion boards, but other things can be late if needed. Trust me, I've had people with doctor's notes or kid in a hospital. I had a student who had a stroke, young too. So it's, and by the way, if you give me a doctor's note, I can erase something off your to-do list for the week. You pick. Again, no quizzes or tests in this class. So it's not like everything's about the same, right? So it's not like going to save you a big deal, but if it takes a little bit of stress off your plate, I'm happy to do it. The additional SEC policies and supports are down here too. And then this course summary will tell you everything that's ready to go. Okay. If there's a date on it, again, 11:59 is like, hey, read me. If it says 8 p.m., this is like, turn this in by 8. Makes sense? And then down here, when I put these question marks, this is for me. I don't know how I shut that off though. You guys don't need to see that. Let me go to modules. I made a template module for me. And so you'll be able to see it real quick. So not week 1, not this one, not this, not the CDC. There we go. Here's my template model. See if it's all good. No, I shouldn't show you that stuff. That is wild. See how it's not published? No, on purpose. This is my template module. I'll have to fix that with fix template, fix visible templates. Again, if you go in there, it's going to look blank anyway. So let's not worry about that. All right. We did a lot. Goodness, we did a lot in about 45 minutes, and I appreciate you guys sticking in. I'm going to go ahead and process this through YouTube and then get a nice little fancy thumbnail on the front and share that along with the new syllabus. How's that sound? Okay. Super duper excited to be in this class with you guys. Again, please reach out to me at any time at all. Even if you have a question, I have a lot of times people say, well, I didn't want to bother you. That's my job. I want to make sure that this is great. A little bit OCD in a good way. And then when things aren't right, kind of bugs me kind of a lot. So please let me know. And I'm here for it. I want to make it awesome. I can only do that if you guys are in contact with me. Okay. Yay. Claudia's still hanging in. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm still really excited to get this going, but I still have some work to do, and it's about 7:15. So have a lovely evening, and I will see you next week if you would like to. If not, I'm going to record it, and you guys are going to get it anyway. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.